Very warm welcome to all of you once again. The Theory of Computation and Compiler Construction audio tutorial presented by Professor Rakesh Ishwant. So, our today's agenda is to understand the context-free grammar, what and why we studied the context-free grammar, what are the application and significance of context-free grammar, then the properties of context-free grammar. Next, we are looking forward it for derivation tree or parse tree and what exactly a derivation tree, and then we are try to understand how we construct the derivation tree or parse tree, and then we try to understand the type of derivation tree, that is the leftmost derivation, rightmost derivation, and further we try to check out what exactly a ambiguous grammar and how actually a ambiguous grammar is work, or how we can understand the particular grammar is ambiguous or not. So let's we begin one by one. So let's we try to understand with context-free grammar. So our context-free grammar, generally known as CFG, which has a four tuple, say G is equal to VTPS, where V is nothing but a finite non-empty set of variable, or we can say non-terminal symbol. Our T is nothing but a finite set of terminal symbol. P known is the production rule, which is from capital A to alpha, where A belongs to the finite non-empty set, say variable, and our alpha is nothing but V union of T closure, means our alpha may be a combination of terminal or non-terminal symbol, and our S is denoted as our start symbol. So let's we recall the context-free grammar once again. Our context-free grammar G is equal to VTPS, where V is nothing but a finite non-empty set of variable or non-terminal symbol, where T is finite set of terminal symbol, P is nothing but our production rule, and S is nothing but our start symbol. Fine. So most question generally asked by many computer science student, why we study the context free grammar. So my dear student, context free grammar provide no mechanism to restrict the uses of a production rule, say A tends to alpha, within the some specific context, unlike the type of grammar, and that's why we called it is a context free grammar. So it's make us free to think on a different way to understand the different meaning of the grammar, and hence it is a very important to give us flexibility to map or channelize our grammar in a different perspective way. So those are the application area where the context-free grammar is actually used for defining the programming language, for parsing the program by constructing syntax tree, for translation of programming language, for describing the arithmetic expression, for construction the compiler, we will use the context-free grammar. Now, one common question generally come in a mind, what happened if we know the context-free grammar properly? So my dear student, to generate the context-free language, we must know that what exactly a context-free grammar is. That I mean that the language generated using the context-free grammar is used to design the context-free language. Those are some properties of CFL. The context-free grammar is closed under union. Means suppose L1 union L2, then we may say that it is a context-free grammar. Means L1 is our language which is a context-free, and also L2 is a language which is considered as the context-free grammar. And when we try to union of them, then it gives a context-free grammar. Means a context-free grammar closed under the union. Second important property, that the context-free grammar are closed under concatenation. Suppose L1 is our language and L2 is our language, then L1 dot L2 gives us a context-free language, means that a language which is closed under concatenation. Next important property is that the context-free grammar are closed under Kleene closure. That means if L1 is our language and L2 is our also language, then L1 star L2 gives a context-free grammar. The next important property of a context-free grammar is that the context-free grammar are not closed under intersection. Likewise, suppose we have the L1 and L2 are two context-free grammar and we want to take its intersection, then it does not provide a context-free language. Means context-free language not closed under the intersection. The family of the regular language is a proper subset of family of context-free language. Means if L1 dash and L2 dash are not context-free language. Now we check the all those properties in a very brief. First one is a context-free language is closed under union. Second one is context-free language are closed under concatenation, and third is the context-free language closed under Kleene closure. The language accepted by the push-down automata is known as context-free language. So if we want to design the push-down automata, then we must know the what exactly a context-free grammar, and then based on this context-free grammar we are able to construct the context-free language. And once we are able to understand the context-free language, then we can generate the push-down automata. Hence we need to understand context-free grammar is a very important aspect to understand the different capability of theory of computation, especially the automata which have some capability memory power. Now, those are the significance of context-free grammar. There exists no algorithm to check whether the any given grammar is ambiguous or not, and hence we need to understand context-free grammar is a very crucial aspect to all of us. Then this is general decision problem is undecidable whether the grammar is ambiguous or not. So to decision problem we need to take care of context-free grammar, which help us to decidability of a particular language. Then the problem is equivalent to the post-correspondence problem is to recognize context-free grammar is again the very crucial aspect to us. The derivation tree and pass tree. So now we understand what exactly a context-free grammar is, that G is equal to VTPS, where G is nothing but a grammar actually, or V is nothing but a set of non-terminal symbol, or T is a set of terminal symbol, P or production rule, and S or start symbol. So by using this context-free grammar or grammar, we use this grammar to design the derivation tree or a parse tree, and then this derivation tree and parse tree help us to find out whether the grammar is ambiguous or not. Hence, to reach the disability program, we need to understand derivation tree or a parse tree is really very important. So the process of deriving a string is called a derivation. The geometrical representation of derivation called is parse tree or a derivation tree. So simply a parse tree or a derivation tree is nothing but a process of deriving a string is called derivation. There are few properties of parse tree or a derivation tree. That is, a root node of a parse tree is a start symbol of a grammar. Each non-leaf of a parse tree present the terminal symbol, and each intermediate node of a parse tree represent the non-terminal symbol. Parse tree is independent of the order in which production are used in the during derivation, and we try to recall those properties, so we may conclude with a root node of parse tree is called the start symbol. The non-leaf node of parse tree represent the terminal symbol, and intermediate node of parse tree represent the non-terminal symbol. So further we check example. Consider the grammar G is equal to VTPS, where V is equal to start symbol, T is represent non-terminal AB, P is equal to S gives small a, capital S, small b and s. Similarly, S gives small b, S, A and S, and S produce the epsilon. And if we try to understand this properly, then it gives the equal number of A's and B's. Similarly, there are two kind of parse tree or a derivation tree. One is leftmost derivation and another is a rightmost derivation. The process of deriving a string by expanding the leftmost non-terminal at each step is called leftmost derivation, and geometrical representation of the leftmost derivation is called leftmost derivation. Similarly, rightmost derivation, the process of deriving a string by expanding the rightmost non-terminal at each step is called rightmost derivation, and geometric representation of derivation called rightmost derivation. A context-free grammar is said to be ambiguous if it produces more than one leftmost derivation or more than one rightmost derivation or more than one parse tree or a derivation tree, that is leftmost derivation or rightmost derivation. So there is a general approach to check whether the grammar is ambiguous or not. To check whether the given grammar is ambiguous or not, we need to follow these two basic fundamental steps. First is we try to find the string from the language of a grammar such that for the string there exists more than one parse tree or derivation tree or a syntax tree or leftmost derivation or rightmost derivation tree. And in second step, we need to try to check if there exists at least one for each string, their grammar is ambiguous, otherwise unambiguous. Means if we get more than one parse tree, derivation tree, leftmost derivation tree or rightmost derivation tree, then we claim that the grammar is said to be a ambiguous grammar. Thank you very much for listening.